The first thing I noticed was the date. Not the name, not the case number. The date. 2 weeks from now, stamped in red ink like it had already happened. I stared at the screen longer than I meant to. Missing persons files weren't supposed to do that. They were records, not predictions. My job, my entire job, was to take old paper cases from the county archive and convert them into clean, searchable digital files. Cold cases, forgotten names, things no one was looking for anymore. I'm Ben, 32, contract records clerk. No badge, no authority, just a keycard and a basement office that smelled like dust and overheated plastic. The building was quiet that night, quieter than usual. After 6, the courthouse above me emptied out, and the archive became its own sealed world. Fluorescent lights, filing cabinets, the low, constant hum of the servers behind the wall. The file on my screen was labeled like any other, missing person, active. But the disappearance date read March 18th. Today was March 3rd. I assumed it was a clerical error. Someone mistyped a year. It happened more than you'd think. Still, my stomach tightened as I scrolled. There was already a witness statement attached. Not a full one, just a placeholder entry. Time-stamped March 4th. Tomorrow. I leaned back in my chair listening to the lights buzz overhead. The system didn't allow future timestamps. I knew that because I'd helped write the error reporting guide. I hovered my mouse over the flag icon, ready to mark it for correction. Before I clicked, the screen refreshed on its own. The file stayed open. The date didn't change, and a small line of text appeared at the bottom of the page, as if it had just been typed. Witness statement pending review. I didn't flag the file. I told myself I'd come back to it later. I flagged the file first thing the next morning. The system accepted the report without comment. No warning, no error code, just a small green check mark beside the case number, as if to say, received. I felt ridiculous for the relief that followed. 5 minutes later, the flag disappeared. I checked the audit log. No supervisor override, no admin access. The system listed the change as an automated correction, time-stamped while I was still logged in. The date was still March 18th. I told myself it was a caching issue. Old software behaved badly when it was stressed. So I opened another case, then another. Normal dates, normal entries. Everything behaved exactly the way it was supposed to. Until just before lunch, a second future-dated file appeared. Different name, different case number, same red active stamp. Disappearance date, March 21st. I stood up from my desk and scanned the archive. Rows of filing cabinets stretched into the dim corners of the room, their metal faces dull and unreadable. I was alone. I always was. I tried to edit the second file. The field accepted my input, then reverted the moment I clicked away. I tried deleting the case entirely. The screen froze, then refreshed. Both files were still there. That night, before leaving, I shut down my workstation completely. I watched the screen go dark, then locked the office behind me. When I came back the next morning, the computer was already on. A third file waited on my desktop. This one had been created at 2:17 a.m., and when I opened it, I saw something new in the witness section. A single sentence already entered. Subject was last seen leaving work alone. I hadn't told anyone that. By the end of the week, there were 7 future-dated files. I stopped flagging them. The system didn't need my help, and it didn't like being questioned. Instead, I started copying details into a notebook I kept in my desk drawer. Names, dates, locations. I told myself I was building a case for when I finally spoke to someone higher up. That excuse stopped working when I noticed the pattern. Every disappearance happened within the same small stretch of the county. Rural roads, dead zones, places where cell service dropped without warning. I pulled up a map and marked each location. The pins clustered tighter than I expected, like something circling a drain. The dates were getting closer too. The first file gave weeks of distance. The newest one gave days. On Thursday, one of the predicted dates passed. I refreshed the system until my finger ached. At 9:42 a.m., the file updated. Status changed from active to confirmed. A witness statement populated beneath it, time-stamped 5 minutes earlier. I read it twice before the words settled. Vehicle found abandoned. Driver's side door open. Engine cold. I checked the local news, then the police blotter, then the internal incident feed we weren't supposed to access. The details matched. That afternoon, I pulled the security footage from the archive hallway. Officially, it was to confirm timestamps. Unofficially, I needed proof that I was still in control of something. The footage showed me at my desk, head down, typing. Behind me, in the reflection of the filing cabinet, I saw another chair pulled slightly away from the table. Empty. I didn't remember moving it. I started staying late after that, not to work, to watch. I found the file just after midnight. That alone should have scared me. New cases weren't created overnight, not without an intake report, not without a body, not without paperwork that passed through 3 departments first. But there it was, sitting at the bottom of the queue like it had always belonged. No name. The field was blank, grayed out, uneditable. The case number followed the same format as the others, but the font looked wrong, slightly thicker, like it had been typed twice. The disappearance date read March 18th, 3 days away. I didn't scroll at first. I already knew what I'd find. When I did, my chest tightened anyway. Height, weight, hair color. A small scar near the left thumb I'd gotten as a kid opening a broken filing drawer. Every detail matched me with bureaucratic precision. The photo was worse. It was blurred, like a bad ID scan, but the shape of the face was unmistakable. My face. Or close enough that my eyes kept trying to correct it. The witness section was empty. Not missing. Pending. I checked the system clock, then my phone, then the wall calendar above the desk. Everything agreed on the date. Everything except the feeling in my gut that the file had been waiting longer than I had. I tried to close it. The screen refreshed. A new line appeared under the location field. Current position, County Records Archive, sublevel B. The HVAC kicked on behind the wall, loud and sudden like something inhaling. I didn't leave. I locked the door instead. I tried to call my supervisor. The phone rang until it stopped, then immediately started again. No voicemail, no busy signal, just ringing, looping back on itself like the system didn't believe I was finished asking. I emailed IT. The message sent, then vanished from my outbox. No error, no bounce, just gone. I went back to the file, my file. I tried to delete it. The cursor spun once, slowly, then snapped back into place. The status field flickered, but it didn't change. I tried exporting it instead, saving a copy to a flash drive I kept on my keychain. The progress bar reached 90%. Then the screen refreshed. The drive was empty. I printed the file. The printer whined, protested, then spat out 6 warm pages. I held them like proof, like something solid I could take with me. The ink was sharp at first, clear, undeniable. Then it began to fade. Letters thinned, photos washed out. By the time the pages cooled in my hands, they were blank. When I looked back at the screen, the witness section was no longer empty. A paragraph had appeared, time-stamped with the current minute. Subject located seated at workstation, reviewing case materials. Exhibits signs of distress. My stomach dropped. Below it, a new line blinked into existence. Resistance noted. The system wasn't stopping me. It was documenting me. I pushed my chair back and stood up, keys clenched in my fist. The exit sign over the door hummed softly, its red glow steady and patient. The file updated one last time before I reached it. Status: active. In progress. I didn't make it to the stairs. The lights went out at exactly midnight. Not all at once, row by row, like someone turning pages in a book. The archive sank into a dim red half-light from the exit signs, their glow stretching long shadows between the filing cabinets. March 18th had arrived. The door to the stairwell wouldn't open. The handle turned freely, useless in my hand. My keycard reader blinked once, then went dark. Somewhere deep in the building, the servers hummed louder. No longer background noise, but a presence, steady, attentive. A filing drawer slid open behind me, then another. Paper whispered as folders shifted, moving with careful purpose. I backed toward my desk, heart hammering, every instinct screaming to run, even though there was nowhere left to go. The monitor flickered back to life on its own. My file was open. The witness section was filling rapidly now, lines appearing faster than I could read them, timestamps stacking on top of each other. Subject remains on premises. Subject exhibits signs of panic. No third-party witnesses present. The cabinets around me slammed shut in unison. The sound cracked through the room like a gunshot. I felt pressure in my ears, like a change in altitude. The air grew stale, heavy with dust and old paper. My vision blurred, edges dimming as if the room itself were being archived. The final witness entry appeared. Subject last observed at workstation. The status field updated. Active to closed. The screen went dark. So did everything else. The new clerk started on a Monday. She was 20-something, temporary badge clipped crookedly to her jacket, coffee balanced carefully in one hand as she descended into sub-level B for the first time. The archive greeted her the same way it always did, with humming lights and the low, patient thrum of servers behind the wall. Her task list was already waiting. Digitize cold cases, flag inconsistencies, don't linger on the details. By mid-morning, she reached a completed file near the end of the queue. Missing person. Closed. The name read, Ben Hawkins. Date of disappearance, March 18th. The record was thorough. Location confirmed, witness statements complete. No unresolved fields, no follow-up required. She frowned briefly, trying to remember if she'd seen the name in orientation. She hadn't. It didn't matter. Closed was closed. She moved on. At 10:46 a.m., a new file appeared on her desktop. No alert, no sound, just another red stamp. Missing person. Active. The disappearance date read April 2nd. She took a sip of her coffee and clicked it open, already reaching for the flag icon as the fluorescent lights buzzed softly overhead. In the witness section, a placeholder waited patiently. Witness statement pending review. The system was accurate. It always was. Somewhere, right now, a file is being opened. Not because someone vanished, but because the system decided it was time to start keeping track. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video. It helps these stories reach more listeners who love slow-burn procedural horror like this. Subscribe to Campfire Horror Stories for more tales set in forgotten jobs, sealed buildings, and systems that don't forget names once they've learned them. And leave a comment below. If you saw your own file appear, would you try to run? Or would you keep reading? Because some records don't warn you. They just wait for the date to arrive.